Hi, this is Woody Howard from EducateVia360.com. We create interactive virtual field trips based on our amazing 360-degree photography. Today's video, we're going to be discussing how do you get around, how do you maneuver. We're going to talk about all the buttons and tools that you use to guide yourself through our virtual field trips. So let's get started from the very beginning. When the virtual field trip is first loaded, it's going to give us a logo splash screen right here in the center, and so you can see it's Educate via 360. And then it's going to go to this is what we would call our help screen. As you can read, it tells you can click, touch, and pinch to explore items, and it talks about the different icons that you'll see throughout the virtual field trip. We'll discuss these items in future videos. For the time being, we're more interested in what is happening at the bottom of the page down here. And these are the icons that you will click to control the actual field trip. At the bottom of this box, it shows you click the info button to help bring this back. Well, the info button is located in the lower right hand side. It's a white I for info. So if we click on this, everything's going to go away. But we can bring all of that information back by clicking the I button, like so. For the time being, I want to hide everything just so we can discuss a few of the initial icons that we're going to be using throughout the tour. So we're going to hide all of our information on help. Down at the bottom, you'll see this icon here. This is our toggle rotate. So right now, the screen is rotating freely on its own. We can control it. We can move it where we want it to go. If we pause just a minute, it will automatically restart in 5 seconds. So the default nature of the virtual field trips is to spin. If you'd like to stop the rotation, then you hit the toggle rotate button. At that point in time, it's stopped. We can move it. It will not restart. You can restart the spin at any given time by toggling that button back on again. One of the other buttons is the scene menu toggle, which is the 4 squares in the lower left hand side. And if we click on that, that brings up the scene menu. Understand that we photograph each of these sites from the parking lot or from the front door of the museum all the way through the entire facility. So we go front to back just like you were walking through it. These scenes on the scene menu are laid out in that precise order. So when you initially view a tour, you can click and you can go through each screen one at a time. You can also control this menu by grabbing it and scrolling left and right. But we wanted to show you the scene menu first. To talk about that. You'll also notice that when you select a scene, it is highlighted with a white border. So at any given point in time, when you look down at your scene menu, you can see exactly what scene you're on. So with those facts being out there, let's bring back up our help screen again. And okay. Again, you can see right here is the open and close scene menu button that we've talked about, and here's the toggle rotate button. Now, talking about the scene menu, you'll see on the left-hand side, lower left-hand side, there is the previous scene icon, and over on the far right-hand side, there is the next scene icon. Just like when we could toggle or we could click and drag that scene menu to move through scenes, you can use the previous scene and next scene button to do the same. So we're just going to slide this over here, and you can see the white box is the scene that we're on. If I hit the next scene button here, it takes us to the next scene, and then we can see the white box is in place on that scene. If we want to go back at any time, we can either click here on the scene menu, or we can hit the previous scene. So we'll click previous scene, and we go right back to where we were at. So there are multiple ways to do almost everything in the tour. But the first thing you need to understand is how do you move from scene to scene? And those are the ways that you do that. The next thing that we will want to talk about is the navigate and zoom buttons. There are 6 buttons. It's left, right, up, down, plus, minus, which are the zoom sides. I am going to disable the help just a minute so that we can see that and understand. I am also going to pause the rotation so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. So currently you can click and drag left or right, up or down, and that will get you through the scene. Or you can use the 6 buttons down here. If we click the left button, it's going to go left. If you click the right button, it's going to go right. If you click up, it's going to go up. If you click down, it's going to go down. The neat thing about the tours is that they are also high resolution so that you can zoom in and out. There may be some features or some signs that you want to read that we didn't highlight. You can read some of those and look at it that way. You can use the minus and come out so that you can see more of it. You can also use your mouse wheel to scroll in and out. In and out. Again, multiple ways to do the exact same thing. So we've talked about the auto rotate. We've talked about the plus, minus, left, right. This icon is normalized view. So let's say for some reason we wanted to look up into the ceiling. We thought, oh, that's cool, man. That's great architecture. And you zoom in really tight and you get over here and you can't figure out how to get back down. It's kind of disoriented at times. If you will click on this normalized view button, which is shaped like an eye, what happens is it zooms back to standard zoom and zooms back to level. So at this point in time, we're back to our standard zoom, we're level. So if we go left to right, it looks like it should. The next thing that we'd like to talk about is full screen. And that's this button here. Let me bring up the icon to help so we can see it. So we're going to, this is toggle full screen. Right now we're in a windowed environment, so to speak. We have this window against our background. If we hit toggle full screen, it's going to take us out of the windowed environment and take up all of the real estate on your screen. This works great with smart boards when you're using your laptops, etc. So again, you can toggle it on, you can toggle it off. The next button to the right of the toggle full screen is the Google Maps button. It's just a way of finding out exactly where this site is located geographically. If you click the Google Maps button, it's going to bring up a new screen and it's going to show you in Google Maps exactly where the facility is at. So Fort Macon is down here, and you can zoom in, you can zoom out. It's a full Google Maps button. But it's just a simple way to find out geographically exactly where the facility is at. The next button that we're going to talk about is the Take the Online Quiz button. We're not going to get into the quiz itself, but understand that for every virtual field trip, there is an online quiz that is self-grading. You can do it class participation, or you can do it as an individual student. If we click on it, it brings it up and says that, let's take the information off. You can, it says that you're about to take a quiz. When prompted, enter your name and this password. It's the same password for every student. It is the same every time. It is the same in every tour. So basically, if your student's name is Bob, they'll enter Bob, and then they'll enter EV360 to take the quiz. But we'll talk about the quiz in another video. Bring back up the information again. And so the next thing that we're going to talk about is this Show Hide menu. So again, we're going to take the information off. Show Hide is going to be a way of minimizing so that you get more access to the full screen. So you can see the beautiful photography, so to speak. So if we hit Show Hide, everything at the bottom goes away with the exception of the quiz button that you can always reach. This is a return button which will bring back all of the menus. And on the lower left hand side, it's going to show you which scene that you're in and the name of that particular scene. Just another way to give a good, clean concept feel of the room that you're in. So if we click this button on the far right hand side, it's going to bring our menu back up. Again, we can stop the auto rotation. We can use the scene menu button on the far left hand side to bring the scene menu back up. We can jump to different scenes. And one of the things you have to remember is just because the scene menu is full at the bottom does not mean that this is the last scene. Just continue to drag to the right or process to the right using the next button until you see the very end. You'll know when you can't go any further. There's just not any other pictures. The one other button we hadn't talked about is the PDF button here. It is for downloading the resources. Again, this is one of the things that we'll talk about in a later video. It's a feature where all the text that is contained in the tour is in a PDF document that can be downloaded by the students, could be downloaded by teachers to be used in further studying, class preparation, etc. Again, we make things disappear, but we hope that this helps you to understand how to navigate through the Educate via 360 virtual field trips. If you have any questions, please send us an email or give us a comment and let us know. We hope that you enjoy Educate via 360 and look forward to talking to you about the other features of the tours and other videos. Thank you.